Good afternoon, everybody. It's your girl, C Wit, and you know what time it is. I'm so excited. It's time to catch up with the Tolberts. Attorneys Michael and Shalise Tolbert. I am here in their offices in beautiful downtown Gary, and we have news to share. Good afternoon, counselors.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm so glad that you always allow me to come in and let everybody know what's happening with the Tolberts. And there's not a time that goes by, not too much time passes before somebody mentions you to me. There was fodder and chatter on the web about the bus. The bus is still a thing, but
Is it still?
it's still going. I saw it the other day. Wifey saw it the other day.
I rarely get to see it, so I had to take a picture. I was like, oh,
There it is.
There it is.
I see it all the
Thank
time
God.
for some reason. Michael, what is this that you've never seen your bus or you don't see it?
I don't know. The last time I saw it was when you did the rollout. That was the last-
yes. So
Wait, now
No,
that
I've
was,
seen it. I've
you've
seen
seen
it a
it.
few times. But I think because it goes down Broadway a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm taking the highway a lot, so
Mhm.
it's not on the highway, obviously. But so I
Yes.
think that's probably why I miss it.
Well, that rolling bus that we speak of is just a wrapped bus with all things attorneys Tolbert that the people love. You got to give the people what they want. But more so, I want to kick off our conversation of catching up with the Tolberts with this beautiful, heavy award from the Mayor's Office on Disabilities. Counselor, would you please tell me how you all landed this big honor? What was the honor?
well, it's the Mayor's Organization on Disabilities, and it was their 18th annual luncheon in conjunction with the 60th anniversary of the Office of Commission, the Gary Commission
Yes.
office. Yeah. So
Civil rights.
Civil rights. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't
Civil
complete
Rights
it out.
Commission.
Civil Rights Commission office, and we were fortunate and blessed to be awarded the business category award for that luncheon. So we're very thankful. Dr. Ed Williams reached out to me. I think he was the chairman of the event.
Yes.
And, we know the director over there of the commission, Hanifa Khalid. She is a former student of ours, which she reminded me of when
Oh,
we were
wow.
walking in.
I know you're like,
"What?"
thanks.
She was like, professor, and I was like, huh?
Uh-huh.
I looked
Oh,
around.
Right, me too. I was like, who's she talking to? But it, definitely is an honor. We thank them for even thinking of us, to bless us with such a recognition.
So, Michael, was this for your involvement in the community as philanthropists, as leaders, as role models?
As my understanding is all those check boxes. It's philanthropy, is business in terms of running a sound business that the community could be proud of, and something that we don't necessarily think of a lot in terms of our personal injury practice. We deal with a lot of folks that have debilitating, life-changing injuries
Mhm.
that we represent and we get fair compensation for. So it's funny because we don't necessarily think of our personal injury practice in that context, but it registered with somebody else.
Absolutely.
And I just want to give a shout out to the selection committee for really thinking about our firm. And I have to say this is because during the luncheon, they said that we could not speak and we could not give thanks.
Oh, you
to
have
the
plenty of
selection
platforms.
group.
Go right
so,
ahead.
So I just wanted to make sure that they understood that we were very appreciative of this award.
Yeah.
And our silence was not because we did not want to thank them. It was
Mhm.
because we were following, as my beautiful wife always keeps me in line, you got to do things decent and in order.
Decent
So we
and
were
in
doing
order.
things decent and in order. And the program was very lengthy, so we wanted to make sure that they were able to get caught up. So,
Yeah.
but when we didn't say anything and everybody else did, I wanted to make sure that we were
Oh,
like, hey,
okay.
so
Gotcha.
that's it. We want to thank them for the award. It was
Well,
very
well
very
deserved.
good. Thank you.
Congratulations. And you can put this or hire somebody to lift this. How about that?
It was,
It's
it was
it's a
upper
heavy
body day for
award.
me this morning.
Okay, good
Yeah,
upper
heavy
body
award.
work. Yes.
It's such a blessing, though. When people recognize the
Yeah.
good things you do and the good work. So we thank God for it,
Yes.
and we thank God for everything that the mayor's office is doing around disability.
Yes, very important and often not as highlighted
Yes.
in other spaces as it should be. So I was unable to make it, but certainly I was glad that there were individuals there, namely Cooley. Thank you,
Yes.
Cooley, for being there
Shout out to
capturing those
Cooley.
photos.
Shout out to Cooley.
So you will see me regurgitating them shortly in your upcoming newsletter. Now, speaking of doing good things, I heard that the Good Brothers Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated have recently held a golf outing to raise money for scholarships. Were you a part of that?
I was a part of that. And before you get into that, I was at the library just minding my own business. And I ran into this, I heard this barking in the background. And it was some guy that said that he might know you, that he might be related to you.
He
and,
might.
So
would that be my big brother?
Yes, your big brother. Shout out to Mr. Stallings, great guy.
Long time member of Omega Psi Phi.
Long time member, and he had the whole library was purple and gold.
What?
I said,
are you serious?
yeah, I'm serious. And I'm like, these are not the official colors of the Gary Public
I
Library.
didn't think so.
They had on purple polos.
You like, what is the
I'm
thing?
serious. Chelsea,
hey, when you in leadership, you have those little, you can make those executive decisions. But
So,
also, a happy birthday to him. He made 60.
Happy birthday, my brother, man. Enjoy your day, man. Have a good time and many blessings. Many more.
Yes, kid.
Yes.
Knowing him, he's on vacation, still probably watching us.
That's
he
right.
He loves the Tolberts.
And if he is watching this, now it's time to talk about the news. So make sure you watch.
Oh, he'll watch. Okay. So a scholarship. This has been going on for many years.
Yes.
Where you all get out on the course and bond like brothers do, but at the same time for a great cause. Dollars for our young people. And we'll talk in a minute about UNCF, but we love any type of event that's helping young people go to school.
Well, Kappa Alpha Psi is all about achievement, and we're all about giving back. So shout out to the Gary Alumni Chapter, and I'm very proud to be a member of the Gary Alumni, and we just do some awesome and wonderful things in the community, and a golf outing is one of those. So I got a chance to hit the links, got a chance to play very well. I did okay. We're not going to talk about the award that we were supposed to get, but somebody didn't turn in our card. So.
As we not talk about it.
Yeah, so you have the big thing over here, though. Just put a little K or something on the back of that and say, well,
but
you got that too.
Man, I'm not upset at all. I'm okay. It's all about the kids. And it was just a great time to get out and fellowship with the brothers, but at the same time raise money for scholarships.
All right. Well, congratulations to the brothers. And that's a great segue as I come over here to you, Attorney Shalise Tolbert. As I was on the call late, but I caught the call. UNCF, we have a date. We are ready to do some walking this fall. Also on behalf of scholarships and with you chairing our leadership council, I'd love for you to share an update.
So yes, so we are having the annual UNCF walk, and this time we actually get to walk.
COVID's over, and
right. The years past, we have done it over at the radio station parking lot as an event for the community to come out to. But now we actually have a site where we are going to walk around Marquette Park.
Oh, beautiful!
On September 21st. I believe registration starts at 8 a.m. The walk begins at 9 a.m. Teams of 4, $25 per person. We have a national goal set for every walk that's happening all over the country.
Do we now?
For $25,000. So you all come on out. We need 1,000 people to come walk so that we can make that national goal for each council. And that's $25 a person. Grab everybody that you know. Right now, I would say if you want information about it, go to uncf.org and search for what our main office, the Indianapolis office, or if you can search for the Northwest Indiana Council, Leadership Council, you should be able to find some information on the local walk. If not, we will definitely be hitting our social media up heavy come end of July, beginning of August, pushing that event.
Yes, I'm excited about that. Anytime there's an opportunity for people to get active and show up at a beautiful scenic place to walk, I'm all for it. And I'm sure there will be some type of virtual component to this. You can walk where you are and still donate, and also some sponsorship opportunities. So if you want to go above and beyond the $25, we always encourage that our philanthropic spirited folks, that we will be getting that information out. So thank you for that. Now I'm moving into the professional realm. I know people often tell me, I love that you all talk about what you're doing in the community, but it is very important that we highlight the things that are happening at Tolbert and Tolbert from your professional standpoint. And Michael, you reminded me that the more we tout your mediation, litigation angle of the firm, it's starting, the organizations that you're a part of and the networking that you're doing is definitely starting to pay off from a visibility standpoint and caseload. And there was one more recent where there was a designation, and I don't want to butcher the name of the organization, but it's the National Academy, and then you finish the rest.
Of Distinguished Neutrals.
National Academy of Distinguished Neutrals. What, pray tell, first of all, is a distinguished neutral?
Well, we have a practice in the legal profession called ADR, which stands for Alternative Dispute Resolution.
Okay.
So that consists of mediators and arbitrators. And the whole goal is, even though that the legal profession resolves cases by way of trial, there are informal ways to do that.
Okay.
Alternative dispute, hence alternative dispute resolution. So mediators and arbitrators are the alternative to going to trial. Okay. So it's just a fancy way of saying informal resolution. And mediators and arbitrators have to be certified. And NANDI, which is the group that you just mentioned, is the certifying organization, and it's a national organization, and I was so proud to be inducted into it about 2 years ago. And they're doing a rollout. So what you saw from, I think, the text that I sent was something that they wanted us to send kind of around, because they wanted people to understand what they were going to be seeing before it actually went out.
Gotcha.
So it was just like a press release, and it was a very nice video.
Yes.
That we'll probably put in the newsletter. But I'm just extremely excited about NANDI and about being a part of that organization, and really about that practice area, because I think that gives us the best opportunity to develop a nationally branded, niched practice, which is ADR. So I'm just excited to be a part of NANDI and all they do.
Well, we'll definitely put it out there more in the way you explained it for a lay person. Now I get it. And to me, it kind of gave me a sense of comfort that you have options. When you think about going to trial, always makes your heart like, boom, boom, I gotta go to trial, but there are options. You get in the media, and let's talk offline. Let's talk through this in a private session. And I don't know about you, but I want these folks mediating on my behalf. So at the end of this broadcast, we'll certainly put all of their contact information in to talk more about that. Shalice, how important is it, you get your credentials, you get your JD, you put your law license up on the wall, I passed the bar, ta-da, but how important is it to be in these types of organizations, continuing getting those credits and getting that visibility? Because I know some folks that say, I passed the bar, I'm good, and I'm just going to report to work.
Well, I think obviously it's to each individual's own goals and whatnot, but we always, feel as if God has placed us in a position to try to make a difference, to try to break barriers. And when we have a door open, we explore, we pray on it and say, is this a door that we're supposed to actually walk through, God? Just because it's open doesn't mean He opened it for us.
That's right.
And so with an organization such as the one Michael is involved in, because I'm not a mediator, I don't have a desire.
Leaving that to him. Okay.
Yes, he is the mediator. But those types of organizations, we try to make a difference, because sometimes there are very few people of color involved in those organizations.
That's a good point.
So we really research and see what they're about and pray on it. And if we are selected or asked to join, we usually do, because we know that we can create a voice that hasn't been heard before.
I like it. I like it a lot. So now we got to talk about the podcast. I thoroughly enjoyed your conversation with our mayor and first lady. Very engaging, very comical. It's always great to see, our leaders and see them in a light that they're people too. They're married, they have their partnerships, they have their ups, their downs, and the things that they tackle in order to be successful. So, Michael, what's next for the podcast, Married People's Business?
Well, first, we want to make sure we publicly shout out the mayor and the first lady for being on the podcast. It's not easy opening up your life to somebody, even though we know them, but still at the end of the day, they're telling, people in the, internet stratosphere, their, deep and darkest secrets a lot of times. So shout out to them for agreeing to be on the podcast. But the next podcast will most likely feature the Chief of Staff, Ellis Dumas, and his wife. The third. Don't let me forget the third.
Third.
You know, around me. And his wife, his beautiful wife, Gervais. So we're going to talk to them I think that program is probably going to be around raising kids because they've done some very phenomenal. They have some great kids, and he just won Father of the Year for I think the Northwest Indiana branch of Jack and Jill.
All right,
so
Ellis.
we think this is a perfect time to spotlight him and spotlight the organization Jack and Jill.
Gervais is I think she's a vice president.
Yeah, she does have a leadership role. So so they're just a jewel to our community, and I'm just looking forward to that podcast.
Wonderful. Well, Shalise, tell everybody where they can find the podcast so they can do some binge watching, subscribe, and then do some binge watching.
Right. It's Married People's Business, can be found on YouTube, can be found on any streaming platform where you listen to podcasts. But what I'd like to emphasize too is our last podcast that we actually did after we did the one with the mayor and first lady, we did one on Alzheimer's, recognizing signs in Alzheimer's. And I think that's a very important one I want to highlight because we are of the generation that is kind of dealing with now we're taking care of our parents and older relatives. And, you know, it's something that was brought to the forefront in our lives a couple of years ago, dealing with those things. But, you know, we want to make sure that everybody is aware of some of these signs that may get ignored, especially in our community.
Yes, I didn't forget about it, but I didn't realize the timing. That was after the interview with the mayor and first lady. And if I may make the connection to the type of services that you provide here in your practice when we talk about wills and just getting paperwork together, when we talk about estate, and a lot of that needs to come into play. All of that needs to come into play before something like Alzheimer's dementia happens, because then there's that comes into question, well, did grandmother really want you to have the house or me? You know, and you're trying to sort through these things legally, and it can get ugly.
Yeah, even though it falls under the realm of estate planning, people think the word estate means you have to have a lot of things, but I call it smart life planning.
Okay.
When you are in your right mind, when you're mentally capable of making those decisions on your own, you can map all of this out and we can help you, and so that it's done the way that you want it done, and whoever you designate to make sure that's taken care of after you leave this earth, then we can, assist, and you can have that already taken care of.
Peace of mind.
Absolutely.
Peace of mind. So for those of you who are watching and you find yourself in that circumstance where I am in it right now, we care for our father who's 93, and just glad to say that my siblings and I are on the same page and reviewing documents and financials so that there's no surprise outcome. These are tough conversations, but they have to be had. And the legal part of it, to me, is the more low-hanging fruit, so that you can focus more on the emotional part. If there comes illness and death and those types of things, you can say, well, Shalise already took care of this part for us, so all we have to do is execute what's already on paper.
Absolutely.
Yes.
What other law do you cover, Michael, so that those who have not seen Catching Up with the Tolberts know how you can get them off? No,
that's right. So we do commercial litigation, we do business litigation. So we represent businesses that are involved in disputes, and as I alluded to earlier, we do personal injury work as well. So those are the areas. I think most people know us for the litigation work that we do, because we handle a lot of complex, sometimes high-profile cases involving, local municipalities, mayors, public officials, and that sort of thing. So, in the newsletter, you'll see a lot of the last stories have been surrounding governmental entities.
Victories,
so,
might I add.
Victories.
I like it.
Thank God for it.
Thank
God for
that.
the victories. Yeah, so that's what we do.
Okay. Well, I have a special surprise closing, but before we get to that, you're looking at me like, oh, really? How can they find us, Shalise, over here at Tolbert and Tolbert?
1085 Broadway, Suite B in Gary, Indiana, on the corner of 11th and Broadway. You can find us. We can also be found on the World Wide Web, tolbertlegal.com, and all of our social media, pretty much the same thing.
Okay, Tolbert Legal. So I happened to attend a meeting over the weekend where the names Attorneys Tolbert came up as a result of your successful podcast in the Married People's Business. and the planning of a major event coming up, we'd like to extend an invitation to attorneys Shalise and Michael Tolbert to serve as panelists at the Black Women's Expo on a relationship panel.
Oh,
And
wow.
it would take place, if your calendars are open, on Sunday, August 4th at 3 o'clock at McCormick Place. So I want you all to take a look at your calendars, but you come highly recommended as a result of that podcast and the two of you being business owners, owning a business as a couple. And so I'll let you mull over that and move
that
some
is
things
awesome.
around with surprise.
Oh, thank
I
you.
said I'm going to see the
That is
Tolberts
awesome.
on Monday. Let me
Yeah.
extend this
That is
on
awesome.
camera. And it just goes to show that the work that you do, along with the community input that you have and impact, does not go unnoticed. It is valuable, and we like to put this on a larger platform. And so, with that, are there any parting words of advice or just sentiment before we finish catching up with the Tolberts? Michael?
I'll just be brief, man. We got the dopest PR person in the world, man. Chelsea, you're just awesome. And our lives have been exponentially better since you have come into it. And you've always been around. We've been knowing you for years, but professionally, since you have touched our brand, you have just been awesome. So thank you.
Thank
Kudos
you.
to
You make it easy.
Thank
Shalise, anything?
I can't top that.
Okay. I wouldn't even ask you to. You know, you have been catching up with the Tolberts attorneys, Michael and Shalise. Subscribe to the podcast, check out the website, follow them on social media, and get ready to walk for UNCF in the fall, and watch for the newsletter coming out later this week. I'm Chelsea Whittington. Thank you so much for watching. Share this video, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.